Hiya, my name is Ria. I'm a first year law student here at the University of Oxford, and I go to Lady Margaret Hall, which is one of the 50 odd colleges that Oxford is made up of. And in classic lawyer style, I'm here to talk to you about the Oxford Law Society. So you might be wondering what the Law Society actually is. It's essentially a network of people who are all interested in the law in some way, and it provides you with opportunities for professional development, to promote your welfare, to network with these people, and essentially to learn more about how you can turn your interest in law into a career path. So I found that really helpful. There's a few perks that come with the Law Society, so I just wanted to talk about a few of them. So the first one is free food. There is free food at almost every event that the Law Society runs. My friend was once treated to a 3-course meal at one of the best Indian restaurants in Oxford, and she got to learn a little bit more about a law firm. So that was pretty cool. The second thing that I really like is the fact that they allow you to get a chance to figure out what the different pathways into law are. So I'm Australian, as you can probably tell from my accent, so I had no idea how to actually become a lawyer when I came to England. So it's really, really helpful to have a resource that will kind of explain things for you and tell you your options. The other thing that I really liked about the Law Society was that you meet a lot of different people with different perspectives. So the Law Society is not just open to law students, but to every degree. So you meet a lot of different people with varying interests, and kind of see how their interests connect to law, which is really cool. You also meet a lot of people from other countries, which is a common theme in Oxford. But it's really interesting when you're discussing their legal system versus the British legal system, and it's nice to be able to chat to them about it. So I really like that. The other thing that I really like is that the Law Society runs a really wide variety of events. So they have things like networking and commercial awareness workshops, which I found really helpful because coming to Oxford, I didn't really know what networking was. I didn't really know how to network. And I certainly didn't know anything about how law firms work, or how even businesses work. So having those workshops and those opportunities to figure that out is really helpful. And I feel like I certainly know a lot more now, and I'm a lot more comfortable discussing those things. So that's really helpful. The other thing is that they have application workshops for things like work experience and training contracts, which you can get after you graduate. And I find it really helpful to be able to talk to the people who are might one day employ me, to figure out how I can actually do these things. The other thing that I really like about the Law Society is that they run lots of panels on diversity, and kind of discuss, what are the barriers for having a more diverse legal force, and how we can overcome those barriers, which I find really, really valuable, and something that it's really good that the Law Society focuses on that. The most interesting event that I've personally been to was a talk by the head of the Crown Prosecution Service about hate crimes. For those of you who don't know, the Crown Prosecution Service is the government body that brings criminals to trial. And it was really, really interesting to hear the head of that service, at least for Oxford, talk about how she goes about that assessment, and essentially also talk about how to get involved. And honestly, I didn't even consider that as a career path before. So that was really good. So yeah, that just shows that the Law Society really does open your eyes to things that you didn't even consider. The other thing I like about the Law Society is that you can be as involved as you like, so as much or as little as you like. They have events pretty often. I would say there's at least something on 3 days a week, and you can essentially choose which events you go to, which is really good. The other thing that's great is that it is one of the more affordable societies across Oxford. So you either pay £30 for a year, or £45 for your entire degree, which I know sounds not cheap, but you honestly get back that amount in 2 events just through drinks and food. So yeah, I highly recommend that. In terms of how you can sign up, the best way is the Law Society runs in-person membership drives in Freshers Week and First Week. Usually they'll be held at your college or at least at a college nearby. So I highly recommend going to one of those membership drives and signing up. You also generally get a free hoodie. Sadly, I've left mine in Oxford. But yeah, I definitely tell you to consider the Law Society, 'cause it's pretty cool.